say I don't live in reality, and dreams I float like a stream. They say I need to grow up, who cares? Life's a wild, crazy thing. Sorry for thinking you can be successful. Magic in the air we breathe. I believe too much in you, girl, more than the things they preach. They say I don't see their ways, never colored inside their lines. But I'm dancing on the edge to my own rhythm, feeling fine. Not everyone is not me, and that's my favorite part. We are wild, untamed and free, with fire inside our hearts. Whispering tales of dreams on a road less traveled by. Our footsteps light as feathers in the glowing sunset sky. Sorry for thinking you can be successful. Magic in the air we breathe. I believe too much in you, girl, more than the things they preach. I don't see their ways, never colored inside their lines. But I'm dancing on the edge to my own rhythm, fees they preach. They say I don't see their ways, never colored inside their lines. But I'm dancing on the edge to my own rhythm, feelings they preach. Not everyone is not me, and that's my favorite part. We are wild, untamed and free, with fire inside our hearts. Whispering tales of dreams on a road less traveled by. Our footsteps light as feathers in the glowing sunset sky. Not everyone is not me, and that's my favorite part. We are wild, untamed and free, with fire inside our hearts. Whispering tales of dreams on a road less traveled by. Our footsteps light as feathers in the glowing sunset sky. Whispering tales of dreams on a road less traveled by. Our footsteps light as feathers in the glowing sunset sky. Not everyone is not me.
I used to roam those crowded streets where all the ghosts are known. But I'm a torch to every bridge, ain't scared to let them go. I got my past in the rear view mirror. All the voices couldn't be any clearer. They say don't burn bridges, don't you dare. I got dynamite, I just don't care.
Blow them up, let the pieces fly. Watch the dust settle underneath the sky. Never look back, keep my head held high. No more tears,
I won't cry. They say make amends, learn to forgive. I know what it takes to truly live. Cut the ties and watch me thrive. This is my life, I won't just survive.
blow them up, let the pieces fly. Watch the dust settle underneath the sky. Never look They say that time can heal the wounds, but I'm not one to wait. Patience lost in the inferno, burning past debate. Each step away, another layer peeling off my skin, emerging from the ashes, ready to begin. Memories like shadows, they fade away. Couldn't weigh me down on my brightest day. Goodbye to the old, I'm breaking free. No regrets, this is the new me. Blow them up, let the pieces fly. Watch the dust settle underneath the sky. Never look back, keep my head held high. No more tears, I won't cry. Just don't look back. The past is just a memory in gray and black. Keep walking forward, leave the wreckage far behind. I'm setting fire to every bond that tried to hold my mind. Just don't look back. The past is just a memory in gray and black. Keep walking forward, leave the wreckage far behind. I'm setting fire to every bond that tried to hold my mind.
Tech coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains. But trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech coach Ralph, you light the way. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech coach Ralph, you light the way. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed.
We the best. Let's get it. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How is everyone doing today? Welcome to another episode, to the final, yes, the final episode of Tech Q&A of 2024. We'll be right back at it again next week for episode 1 of 2025, where we are answering your questions. If you have questions about tech, about careers, about all that good, maybe you're trying to see what courses to take. Should you go to college or should you go to a boot camp? Yes, a boot camp. Boot camp, yes. Should you do a boot camp? Should you do an online course? Whatever it may be, come here, ask your question, and we will thoughtfully and tell you the truth. That is one thing that is our Achilles heel, our weakness here is telling you the truth.
I was gonna lie to you, but I had to tell the truth. I'm just being honest.
We have to be honest here. You know, there's a lot of different channels that'll tell you, go to do this thing for 2 weeks and then you're going to land a $150,000 job. And we're like, that's probably not going to happen. You're going to pay $10,000 for a 2-week course. And then you're going to be left, sadly, applying for 1,000 jobs only to get no callbacks. So I'm just here to tell you the truth. I'm here to answer your questions honestly, because guess what? I'm not gaining anything from you by lying to you. And if I was, I still would not be telling you stuff that makes you feel good, because then that's going to give me a bad name, a bad reputation. All right. So I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are Engineer Twin. Today is the final Tuesday, the final day of 2024. Today is December 31st, New Year's Eve, the afternoon of New Year's Eve, right? Any plans for New Year's Eve, everybody? So, but we don't miss. Nothing changes. We are still going to go ahead with the show. We are going to answer your questions. And you know what? I'm going to turn the call in link in a little bit. But if anybody wants to call in, final show of the year, let me know if you want to share your goals, your plans for 2025. Feel free to do so. I have a call at 5 p.m. Eastern time, so I have a hard stop around 4:50 to wrap up the show to jump on my call. But we are going to do what we do. Let's jump into our agenda real quick. Really quick. So first and foremost, shout out to every single viewer, every single subscriber who made us grow so rapidly in 2024. I really appreciate you all. Those who have been subscribed since the beginning, those who might be new, but they appreciate the effort and the information and the work, the showing the difficulties and challenges that actually are in the tech space. I really appreciate you all.
I appreciate you.
And I have to give a big shout out, salute, all of that good stuff to my tech savages. Those are my my Patreon members, the tech barbarians, the tech prodigy members, the technical explorers who put in the work day in and day out. I'm telling you, they'll be up early, they'll go to sleep late because they have to get the job done. You're not done when you're tired. You're done when the job is done. You guys are the best.
We the best.
And I gotta always say, thank you so much to the YouTube members of the channel who keep the channel going. Shout out to my tech mercenaries out there.
Let's get it.
And I can never, ever forget. Shout out to the bag chasers out there.
Money.
And to my people, my moderators, those who rock with me on such a consistent basis. I talk to them online and offline. Just appreciate you guys so much. My guy, Mr. Technique, Yakar, the king moderator. Shout out to my best friend, Mitch. Shout out to Alexis, Raw Juice and Herbs. That's the handle. Shout out to Roxy, Rock, the Scrubs, Roxy. Shout out to you. Shout out to all of you guys who helped me so much on this channel.
Hey.
All right, so let's get into a little bit of housekeeping for today. All right, so first and foremost, I am about to publish the Spirit Review that's going to be available to all Patreon members. The Spirit Review that I had from about a month ago, almost a month ago, I'm going to publish that so that you guys can take a look at what we worked on about back then. And then, and I'm going to be publishing the full Scrum Night for the tiered members to see like how the whole Scrum process works. And then next week, I'm going to be uploading the recording that we had from when I was updating my resume, and the discussion that we had about, how resume should be, if a resume is too long, too short. Federal jobs. I had some people who joined in and chimed in about like getting federal jobs and stuff like that. So it's going to be a very, very good video. I'm going to upload that as well. So that's going to be for tiered members as well. And then the following week, I'm going to upload the Scrum Night that we had from about 2 weeks ago. All right. So a lot of things happening in the Tech Coach Ralph Patreon. Do not hesitate. Become a technical explorer, a tech prodigy member, a tech barbarian. If you tech prodigy and tech barbarians, they work with me one-on-one. We devise a plan to maneuver, to shift, to get for our education, as well for our careers, so that we can make it in this tech game. All right. All right. Next up, tomorrow morning on New Year's morning, right? While so there's a tradition in Haiti, or not in Haiti, but for Haitians, where you have soup. They call it soup jumeau, which means pumpkin soup, right? Where it starts at midnight actually. But while all of my Haitian people are eating their soup, we're gonna be starting on our large language model course, our prompt engineering course, right? In the morning, we're gonna start on that, and then once that's done, then I'm gonna go on my quest to get my Haitian pumpkin soup. But we are gonna be working in the morning. We're going to start week 1, day 1 of the large language model course. If you want to follow along, the link for the course is in the description, and it will be popping up in the chat in a little bit if you want to run it up with me, because we're going through like 3 different courses, but they're all very valuable and they all are intertwined. They work together. So I'm like, you know what? Let's pretty much, if we're taking 3 courses, we're doing a college semester, and for what? For the price of almost free 99. Yes, free 99. So sign up for the courses. The links are in the description. And we're going to, ethical hacking course is going to be starting mid-January after we put a little bow on top of the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data that we use on Saturday mornings. And we're going to be doing the DevOps course on Sunday. We already started on that. We're working through Kubernetes right now. We already worked through Docker. So a lot of things happening. So I definitely want you to be a part of all this learning. If you do not and you miss out, and I don't want to hear you crying mid-year talking about, oh my God, I can't find a job, and I took this boot camp, and now they gave me this crappy resume, and now I can't find anything, and like, what can I do? All I'm gonna do is play this song while you are speaking to me.
You made so many bad moves, ignored the words of the wise. We used to feel your struggle, but now it's no surprise. You always played the victim, wanted us to care for you, but we've grown tired of your play. Now it's time for something new. We're turning the page.
I will play that song. I promise you, because I said yesterday on my video for my conversation with my biggest fan, I ended the video saying one thing I'm going to do in 2024 or 2025. In 2025, I am going to be less compassionate, less understanding. So if you come to me with a victim sob story because you did, if you never knew me before, then fine, right? I will hear you out and they will say, this is the plan. But if I spoke to you in 2024 and you are in the same exact spot in mid 2025 saying, oh, this is what happened, I need your help, I am going to say, you know what? We are turning the page. No soup for you. No soup for you. Okay? So I'm just being honest. Mitch is on board. compassionless 2025. Your car's on board. Compassionless 2025. That is the theme for 2025. That's my motto. All right. So exactly. Your car got it right. Your car says,
"Do not come."
Exactly. All right. So that is 3 courses to help you level up. Right. And you can follow along with me and see how we maneuver it, how we go in different directions so that we can really understand that. All right. So get your course today. The link is in the description. Join me on the live streams, ask questions, all of that good stuff. Right. So next up, our next live is going to be tomorrow morning. Like I mentioned, large language model, prompt engineering, AI type artificial intelligence. We're going to be working on that this year. We're doing week 1, day 1 tomorrow. And then Thursday, we're going to be going live. We're still going to be working on our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data to clean some stuff up. And then in mid-January, that's when we're going to start the ethical hacking course, penetration testing. Then we have tomorrow, for our pre-recorded content, we have the software explorations. We're going to be talking about messaging brokers, software tools like RabbitMQ, Amazon SQS, and some other ones that exist, right? We're going to be talking about those, what its purpose, how they actually help us in the how they help softwares run better and scale more efficiently. Friday, we're going to be talking about we're going to have the bug bite. We're going to be talking about the U.S. Treasury being hacked. Yes, hacked by China, allegedly by China-backed or China state-sponsored hackers, all right? So a lot of stuff going on. So if you like anything that you heard here, right? Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification so you know every time we go live and drop new content. techcoachrap.dev. Get one-on-one coaching today because the spots are almost out for the top tier. There's still plenty of spots in the middle tier, but in the middle tier, you get less attention than the top tier, right? So and a couple of people told me that they're about to sign up for the top tier. They're going to upgrade to the top tier, so it's going to be even more limited. So, and if it's full, then it is what it is. Turning the page because you procrastinated, and now you're on the inside, you're on the outside looking in. You are outside. You guys remember the circle of trust? The circle of trust. Everyone's here in the circle of trust. All the tech barbarians and tech project are right here in the circle of trust. You are right there, outside the circle of trust. Outside the circle of trust. You do not want to be outside the circle of trust, right? Just saying. I'm just saying, all right. With that being said, I'm going to turn on the call-in link in case anybody wants to call in and have a conversation or just say what's going on, what's up. Feel free to click the link and join me on stream. You don't have to be on camera, but if you want to, I'll be more than happy to put you on camera, right? And we're gonna start answering our questions. 5 minutes per question, although we go a little bit over. And then we wrap it up and we check the chat. We see how everyone's doing. We have a great, grand old time. All right. So let me make sure. Are my lights changing? I don't know if my lights are changing. Let me make sure my lights are changing. For the last day of the year, we gotta have the lights flowing. All right. So let's get to it. Where are my questions? Here are my questions. All right. So, where are my questions? There we go. There goes the question. All right. So, let's get started on this final day of December of 2024. Let's do it.
Another one.
All right. So, let me move this a little bit because apparently, let's move that down. All right. Let's do that. All right, cool. There we go. So let's just start that all over again, okay?
Another one.
Practice websites for automation? Yeah. So it says practice websites for test frameworks using Playwright plus TypeScript. It says, hi. I've been learning Playwright lately, but prior to this, I have worked on Cypress. I would like to know which practice websites do you use to develop a full-fledged framework for personal projects? I've checked out a few websites like Demo QA, and I really don't want to concentrate on a single drop down with a text, if you know what I mean. Do you share your GitHub repos if you have something related to Playwright? I would love to check it out. So I do have GitHub repos that have Playwright stuff in it, and I might send it to you. I might send it to you. It depends. It depends. Are you subscribed to the Tech Coach Ralph channel or the Tech Coach Ralph podcast on Spotify and iTunes? Next year, 2025, tomorrow, we're going to be having all of the Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday shows uploaded to Spotify and other platforms as well, right? We're going to expand the podcast out a bit, but I would say I'm going to start the timer, and I'm going to say this, right? What website should you use to practice automation on? All right, it's gonna be a pretty complex answer, right? A very, very complex answer. The websites that you should use to practice automation are, all right, you ready? Ready? The websites that you use every single day. So, if you are using Amazon every day to be look for hats, maybe, if you're looking for hats on Amazon, if you're looking for cooking supplies, whatever it is that you're using, that's the site that you use for practicing automation. Maybe you're not an Amazon person. Maybe you're a Temuer. Maybe you like using Temu. Well, you can use Temu. And the good thing about using Temu as well for practicing automation, something about Chinese-based websites is when you click on a link, it opens up in a new tab or a new window. So it gives you the opportunity to practice switching tabs and stuff like that. But there's so many, like if you are an avid DoorDasher or an Uber Eater, right? Or Instacarter, then automate that. I mean, one of the first sites that we automated on this channel was Uber Eats. It was either DoorDash or Uber Eats. I know we did both of them, but it was one of the two that we did. So it is imperative that you start to build the skill set based on real world applications. Using these fake websites, I've seen boot camps where they give you like this made up mythical e-commerce website that they have, and it's like, what is that doing for you? But let's say you're one of my friends who love a particular type of clothing, right? And this type of clothing has like a gorilla as a logo, right? Very, very popular brand. And you're like, well, I like to shop for this stuff. Why don't I automate that site? What if I automate finding the lowest price to get an alert? And then once it has this price, then it automatically goes to add it to the cart and notifies me to come and finish the transaction. So many different ideas, but a lot of times like, oh, I need to practice this. I need to practice that. Well, practice on something practical. Practice practically, right? Imagine that. Practical practice. Use something that is useful and valuable to you so that you enjoy doing it and that you actually learn instead of something that's fake, that is fraudulent. You get what I mean? Does that make sense? Do you agree? Do you agree with that? So I don't use fake things to learn. When I'm going through a course, right? When I'm going through a course, I am looking at I'm looking at, okay, so I'm doing whatever practice stuff that they gave me. Then I'm like, okay, how can I apply this to my own stuff, to my own life? And that's why when we were learning Terraform, we went on such a detour because we had our own application that we wanted to deploy to AWS using Terraform. Looking at day one of the large language model course, prompt engineering course, they're doing something that I had already wanted to do for the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data, where I was talking to Yakar about this. I'm like, what I want to do is pass in the URL of the report that we're looking for, and have have our AI summarize the key points of it, so we don't have to go and dig through all this stuff. Summarize the key points. And on day one, that is one of the projects that they're doing. I'm like, okay, cool, that's perfect. Now we're going to use that so that we can implement that on our own stuff. You feel me? You feel me? So that's what we're looking for. But that's how you actually get practical application. You practice on real world things, and it's not just a fairy tale land. It's not like you're not like Peter Pan looking for Tinkerbell to create you this magical website that you're going to practice on. No, use what you use every single day. Every single day. That's my philosophy from day one. The people that I'm coaching, they'll tell you. I'm like, okay, let's just build it. Let's just build it. That's my model. For you trying to learn automation, if you don't have somebody that you're working with who's actually building something, then use the tools that you are most accustomed to. All right. Hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully that helps. All right, we are going to check the chat and see what we got going on in there. Like I said earlier, we got Mr. Technique, aka my guy Yakar, in the building. And we got my best friend in the building as well.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
We got Mitch, Shake and Bake for the people. Mitch. Shake and Bake. Because I only do this once in a while, but Ralph really appreciates. Oh my goodness. Aww. I got something nice from my best friend. We don't always agree on everything. Yes, we do. You know we agree on everything, Mitch. Come on. But you, my homie, for life. Like NWO said, for life. Now enough with the sensitive. Happy New Year, chump. Thank you, Mitch. That means the absolute world to me. Thank you so much, Mitch.
They ain't believe in us.
They didn't believe in us, Mitch. But you always believed in me, even when I told you that you were wrong, that resumes are 100 times more important than networking. You took your L like a champ, all right? I'm just kidding about that. He did not take his L like a champ. I'm kidding. I'm double kidding. I am double kidding. Does a double kidding negate the actual kidding and make you not kidding? I digress, right? Your car says facts. We are turning the page 2025. Compassionless 2025. All right. And says no cape. We're not safe. No one is safe. No one is safe. All right. Your car agrees. Use practical websites to practice. And let me see. It says make it work, then make it better. That is my motto for everything. Like, if you saw how bad the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data was, but we made it work. We made it better. And then the AI music, right? Tried it. Made some pretty bad songs, and now people can't get enough of them. People can. I'm telling you. Valentine's Day, we have the Abandoned EP dropping on all major streaming platforms, and even probably on some non-major ones, right? So make it work, make it better. I already came up with the album cover for the EP for Valentine's Day, so look out for the Abandoned EP on Valentine's Day. It's going to be hot fire. All right. Your car says NWA said the police. I do not agree with NWA on that one. Maybe in their time, because they went through some rough stuff with the police, but I appreciate the police and all of our people in uniform who put their life on the line for us every single day. Like my guy Magnetar right there. Shout out to my guy, Magnetar. Mitch says, Ralph tries to joke not to start to cry. That is a fact. I was holding in the tears, Mitch. You know me too. The same way Mitch called it last week when I said my conversation with my biggest fan. He says he probably talking about himself. I'm like, damn it, Mitch. Why? Like, why you have to say that out loud? Why you have to say that out loud? All right. And then Magnetar with Magnetar says, you can cash these hands too. What's up? What's up, Magnetar? Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year. Great blessing to have you on the channel. Really, really appreciate you. And thank you for that insight on the federal jobs and resumes last week. Very much appreciated. All right. All right. Let's move on to our next question. Let's turn the page on that, and we're going to move on to our next question. Let's get it.
Another one.
My 2-week resignation notice was not honored. Wow. Wow. All right, well, let's see what that's all about, all right? So it says, my boss accepted my 2 weeks notice effective immediately. I asked her if I was fired and she said no, that she did not have to honor my remaining days at work. Did she fire me or did I quit? That is a great question, but I counter your great question with maybe a not so great question. At this point, what difference does it make? You guys remember that? At this point, what difference does it make? Let's start a timer. So, you were not fired. You did quit. But they told you that instead of quitting in 2 weeks, just quit now. He said, just quit now. And guess why? Because you quit, and they probably weren't planning on firing you, but they said, you can just go, you know? You don't have to announce you did, you do, but you know what I mean. I said, just go. And now they don't have to pay you for those 2 weeks actually. But if you have PTO, they'll cash you out. But they don't have to. They also don't have to pay you unemployment. I mean, if you resign, you probably have another job that you're going to, which is good, so that they don't have to pay the unemployment. Now, why do companies tell people that after like when they put their resignation, they tell them that they can just go, right? And they say, you're still here? You know, the reason there can be a couple of reasons. It could be that they really don't like you, and they just want you out of there. But I think a big part of it depends on the domain that you work in, right? Let's say you're working in sales. They probably don't really need you to. They probably don't really need you to stay around. I mean, there's some positions that there's nothing that you're actually going to be doing for those 2 weeks. So you're just going to be, collecting a paycheck, and you're probably just going to be collecting a paycheck and there's nothing here to do. So you can go and you can have a 2 weeks vacation and live your best life. Maybe get flued out. Maybe you just go on a staycation. Who knows? But guess what? They don't care. The reason that companies will allow you to stay for those 2 weeks depends on your role. Like let's say you're a software engineer, QA engineer, DevOps, whatever. Like if you're a technical role in the tech space, then they want you to transition over like the code, the domain knowledge to the rest of the team so that they can actually moving forward. But if you are like, if you have nothing to transfer over and they don't want you to stay, then guess what? Guess what they're doing to you? They're effectively telling you, telling you that they are they're turning the page. Thank you for your service. You don't want to be here. We don't need you here. Have a nice life. That's pretty much a sentiment. And like I said, what does it matter? Whether you stayed the 2 weeks, whether you left now, you quit. They said, cool, we take your quit. You can go. A lot of times as well, when people resign, especially if they're resigning because they don't want to be there anymore, they don't want any negative morale to spread throughout the rest of the team and the rest of the company. So it's like, all right. And that's one of the reasons, like, when companies have layoffs, they say, okay, we're gonna lay you, like you're getting laid off, but your last day is gonna be effective in 3 months, right? And then if the person getting laid off, they start to like, badmouth the company. Now they might not get their severance and stuff like that. So there's many different factors that affect when you resign. I personally don't like the idea of leaving, like of having to give 2 weeks. Because if they really like you, right, and then you give 2 weeks, now you have to go through a two weeks of them. Oh, how can you stay? And you have to meet with different people. They're trying to convince you to stay and give you counter offers. And there's a principle of never accepting counter offers because it's not going to end well at the end of the day. And you have to deal with that. So it's like I would want to just say, all right, I'm out effective immediately, the same way that they can tell you that you're fired, you're laid off effective immediately. But Magnetar is right that you always leave on a good note. Just for recommendations and feedback and stuff like that. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that person. But for me, if I was to say, all right, in most cases, if I was to say, well, I'm putting in my 2 weeks and say, well, you can just leave now, I'd be like, thank you. All right. So I think that you should, number one, not care about whether it was fired or quit, but you should appreciate the 2 weeks that you have to go and live your best life. All right. All right. Let's wrap that question up. All right, let me see what the chat said. Your car said, oh, hold on, let me check out Magnetar first. Magnetar says 2 police from my hometown in Buffalo caused the biggest lawsuit in Buffalo police history. Cost the city $4.5 million. What? All right, Magnetar, now you got to tell us what they did. What did these 2 police officers do? What did they do? I mean, I've heard some crazy, like when I was growing up, I heard some crazy stories about the NYPD and things that they would put where the sun does not shine. Bruh. It was crazy. I was like, what in the world is going on in New York? Your car says, you don't have to announce your departure. This is my last time on this channel. I will never be here again. I can't believe you just said that. I'm like, oh, well, have a nice life. Car says, just leave. And he adds to it. Them. And Mitch says, you know what? But no. You gonna cash me outside. How about that? Always ready to cash these hands. But Magner says, always leave on a good note. And your car says, I'm quiet quitting literally. Like, I'm just not gonna show up. I am just not gonna show up. Mitch says, my last job did that too, did that to me, but I left anyways. I went to their competitor. Oh my, I'm telling you, these data analysts ain't loyal. They ain't loyal. I'm telling you, they just be company hopping, going to the competitor. You know what, Mitch? You know what? Ray Allen is probably your second cousin. The way that he left Boston in the middle of the night. He took that midnight train to Miami. And he is the reason that the Heat won their 3rd overall championship, their 2nd back-to-back championship. All right. Says, they could have did me wrong though, because I thought it would be a conflict of interest. That is true because they might have had you sign a non-compete clause like I had you. Because Mitch, if you go to another channel, right, and you offer all this amazing value that you offer here, I will enforce the non-compete. I will enforce the non-compete because you are the chief data analyst, and that way you can't you don't fall under the clause of no non-competes. So I will take action. I will take action. All right. Just letting you know. Just letting you know in advance. Right. See, and Mitch says he's leaving. See, you can leave, but you cannot go to the competition. All right. I'm watching you, Mitch. I am watching you like a hawk.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Max says they got into a speed chase with someone and ended up shooting at him, and they hit multiple times after he was stopped. I think he was left in a wheelchair. Oof. That's rough. That is rough. You see, Mitch thought I forgot. Mitch, you thought I forgot about that non-compete. Nope. I remember it like it was yesterday. When I saw that lock, I'm like, you know what? Before it goes into effect, I am not losing my best friend and the chief data analyst. I will always be your best friend, but I will sue you in a heartbeat if you go to the competitor, right, Mitch? I'm just saying. Mitch, you know.
I was gonna lie to you, but I had to tell the truth. I'm just being honest.
I'm just saying. I'm just being honest, right? Anyways, let's go to our third question of the night.
Another one.
I got a 4.0 GPA, but I ain't got a job.
Bruh.
It's rough out. It's rough out here it's hard out here for a pimp. All right. All right. So this question says, I graduated from a university with a 4.0 in computer science. There were no internships available, but I kept on trying. I graduated over a year ago and I cannot find a job in the field. Any suggestions? Well, let's start our clock. So the suggestion that I have is more of a question. In this past 5 years now, since the first year of undergraduate, when you started accumulating your 4.0 GPA, to this time where your 4.0 GPA means absolutely zero, zilch, nada, what have you done? What have you built? You got a computer, like someone has a computer science, computer engineering degree, I expect to see something. That is my first expectation. All you said was there was no internships available. Well, I don't think you're really applying yourself, Smokey, because I was able to find an internship for one of my tech barbarians, and another one was able to find one themselves. What have you done for me lately? What have you built? What have you built? I want to see work. I have a song. I have a song for all of you. I have a song for all of you. Where, you know.
People yap about the dreams they chase, big plans on show in a noisy space, talking loud but moving slow, hollow words where actions go. Shut up and produce, get things done.
Shut up and produce. Shut up and produce. What have you done? Where's your GitHub? Where is your work that is in the public domain so that you can actually speak on your skills? I don't want to hear. You know what? Forget that. I'm starting 2025 right now. We're starting 2025 right now. All right. Your 4.0 GPA means, all right. I'm gonna. It does mean something in computer science, because if you can get a 4.0 taking calculus and C++ and all that, that is pretty significant. But what have you done with it? I'm telling you. When I was stalking the people who was going to be interviewing me for my job, I was going on their LinkedIn, clicking on their GitHub, seeing what they've built, and they built some pretty remarkable things. And I'm like, what have you done? And more than just building something, you better have it deployed. If you did not do an internship and your resume is drier than the Sahara Desert, right? Then you need to build something. And you need to put it out there. You need to market it so that people can actually use it, give you feedback, make it better. And you end up killing two birds although we don't advocate for killing birds on this channel, we end up killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? You're going to actually start building something that can actually grow on its own one day and bring you more and more value, but you also have something to talk about. You have talking points. You have something to put on your resume. You can say, oh, okay, so this is what the purpose of this app that I built does, yada, 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 yada. So you're working on building your own app, building an additional stream of income, and trying to get your day-to-day job so that you can get all your benefits and you can build up even more experience, see how you can make the things that you learn on your job, right? You see, okay, how can I apply these technologies to my own application? So now I'm learning about, at my company, we use RabbitMQ, right? So now I'm like, all right, well, let me learn more about RabbitMQ. And then I say, well, although I probably don't need RabbitMQ for the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data, let me see how we can implement RabbitMQ so that we can get a better understanding of how it works. So instead of going directly to the database and directly to the front end and stuff like that, how about we send these messages through the RabbitMQ, through the message broker, right? So the GPA does not translate into skill or into a job. All the GPA means is that you are able to pass all your tests and do all your homework. So you did really good passing your tests and doing your homework. And you check the box. You check the first box on a job description, but guess what? There's like 10 other boxes. What's your experience like? Do you know this tool? Do you know that tool? Do you know this framework? Do you know that framework? And the best way to learn those frameworks is to actually build something. Find a problem, find a need, and then you solve it through the use of what you learned in college. Are you one of those people who just coasted through being able to pass tests or maybe even cheated, allegedly? Are you one of those, or did you actually do something and you know the material, but you're scared to use it? Are you scared to use it? So get out there and work. Shut up and produce. That is the message for 2020. Compassionless 2025. Shut up and produce 2025. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's wrap that question up. Let's jump to the next question, and then we're going to check the chat. So we're going to try to do this in order to streamline the shows. We're going to try to do 2 questions chat. If anybody wants to call in, feel free to click on the link that is in the chat. It's pinned to the top of the chat. It's in the chat. It's also in the description. We can have a conversation, all of that good stuff. But we're going to jump to the next question, and then I'm going to check the chat, and we're going to review whatever was said about both questions. All right. So let's keep the show moving. Let's get it. Let's do it.
Another one.
Does anybody really do only API testing? What tools do you use? All right, so I've been wondering, does anyone out there focus entirely on API with zero UI testing? Is that even possible? Zero UI testing? Like, is that a thing teams actually do? If you're one of those folks, what tools are your bread and butter? Stuff like Postman, I don't know what Keyploy is, Karate, Rest Assured, or something else. How do you handle tricky stuff like edge cases or weird failure scenarios? Also, where do you see AI fitting into all of this? What's the least practical help you expect from AI? Is it writing test cases for you? Think of those impossible to guess edge cases, self-fix tests when API changes, do smarter test results analysis. Curious to hear your thoughts and experiences. Does this approach actually scale, or do you always end up needing some UI validation? That is an amazing, amazing question. And we're gonna take it from the top. All right, so so 2 companies ago, I was working on 2 separate teams as the QA person on 2 separate teams. I pretty much oversaw QA on the bigger team where they were building out an application. I forgot what the tool was that we were using, but it was like where you can create like flow states and stuff like that. And that had a UI component to it. It had an API to it as well, but it had a UI to it. But the other team that I was on, where it was more of a Kanban team. And Yukar will appreciate this. When we were building out the RCS, the RCS consumer or business to consumer API, that was strictly API. There was no UI involved in that whatsoever. And I actually liked it because I did not have to deal with flaky test. I was able to, I used Postman to do the initial, to make sure that the calls were right and everything like that. Then, because because I was using Java at that company, I used Rest Assured in order to be able to, automate the testing process for that particular API. I use Rest Assured as well for the API on the other team, but all my tests were running through Rest Assured and through using TestNG, all that good stuff. I built a framework that was able to handle the UI, but this one had no UI, so it was only using the API portion of it. And that was, so there was zero UI testing involved in that particular application. Now, so the answer to your question is yes, a definite yes, because there are companies that just make API only, they only make APIs. So if you look at a website like Rapid API, there is no UI component to those APIs. You can actually create your own UI that connects and embeds with their APIs, and then you need UI tests for that. But whoever, when they're creating those APIs, and there has to be some type of testing involved to make sure the APIs work as they should, right? I didn't start the clock. Oh, I'm gonna add, it's annoying. Just added 2 minutes on that. All right. Anyways, I forgot to start the clock, but I threw a 2 minutes left on that. So yes, there are companies that do API only. It depends on the software that you're building. And with that, it is what it is, right? It's now the next part of the question. The next part of the question. So yes, teams actually do that. What tools? Like I said, use Rest Assured. I use Postman. Now, when for my API only test, we use, because we're a Python shop for now, we use the request library, right? And we currently use what is that tool called? Behave, for behavior-driven development style testing. But now, in my own applications, like when I built the quotes application, I use Supertest. What is it called? The node package. I think it's called Supertest. But I use that to do the API automation using JavaScript and TypeScript and stuff like that. So yes, very, very possible, because guess what? If you have a microservice, right? If you have a microservice and your microservice has a front end that has one team working on it, and then the microservice has an API, a backend with another team working on it, that team is only going to be testing APIs. You might want to learn some contract testing as well, so that and to answer your question about where do I see AI fitting in, it could write some test cases. I don't know how good that would be. I don't think AI might do the greatest job on impossible to get edge cases. I do see it self-fix test when API changes. Maybe it would need to know what to fix to, but smarter test result analysis, I think there is a big possibility for AI to help in the smarter test analysis to understand the trends, because a lot of things about AI.
Okay, let's move on.
A lot of things about AI, it's very data driven, right? It depends on a lot of data, the language learning models, which are going to be starting tomorrow on the morning show. We're going to be doing week 1, day 1, but I think it could help with analyzing the different results and seeing what's valuable, what's not valuable, maybe train it on how to properly analyze it. All right. So that is my thoughts on that question. All right. Let's check the chat real quick and see what the sentiments are. Let's see. Starting from Magnus says it's a cold game out there. Hey, You got to be cutthroat. You got to be cutthroat in business and in your YouTube channel and even in jiu-jitsu, because it might not end up too well, right? Your car says that they are lazy. Wow, I didn't say that. I did not say that. I just wanted to see, what have you done? No experience. No experience is a problem. And Amanda says, how old is the 4.0 person? I have no idea. Says no personal projects. The only thing they built was bad credits. Your car is with the flamethrowers. Your car's with the flamethrower. Oh my goodness. Mitch says GPA means absolutely nothing. It means a little. It means something. It means something. I can't say it means nothing. All right. It says no compassion. It doesn't mean anything if you don't have a J-O-B. Your car also adds, it's a bunch of broke college grads out there. That is true. There's a bunch of broke non-college grads out there too. It's rough out there. It is rough out there. It says, a job doesn't ask, what was your GPA? I know, you're right. It doesn't ask, but I would say if you were able to get a 4.0 GPA in computer science, you know a little something. You know a little something. You might not know how to get a job, right? But you know a little something about computers. Your car says degree equals 175K, loans equals 50K, 5 years of studying hard for a 4.0, not having a job equals priceless. Oh my God.
Bruh.
I said compassionless 2025. Your car said flamethrower 2025. But we're here for it. We are with it. All right. Magnusar says join the military if they have IT jobs. Enlisted is actually doing the work. Officers manage the work. Shout out to all my people in the military. That was to the GPA person. Yep. And Magnusar says if the person applies for an IT position on USA Jobs based off education alone, they will be required to submit transcripts to with show your GPA. You cannot lie to the federal government about your GPA on federal jobs. So it matters. Your card says facts. AI is mostly logic and little reasoning. That's a fact, though. That is a fact. And Magnusar says if the GPA person is of age, then they have. If the GPA person is of age, then they can look into the officers program since they have a bachelor's. Oh, look at that. See, that's why I like Magnusar. That's why I like Magnusar, because he has all the insight on the federal jobs out there. And Magnusar says facts. Do not lie. I'm telling you, it's not gonna end up well for you because you're gonna get caught. And then here's a question: if you lie on a federal job application, Magnusar, can you go to jail for that? Because I know if you lie under oath and stuff like that, but is that if you lie on a federal job application, can they send you to jail? I don't have all that. All right, nobody has all the info, but you got a good 99.8% of it. You have a good 99.8% of it. Magnusar is the feds. You heard his song. You guys heard Magnusar's song, right? You heard Magnusar's song the other day.
Yeah, what a coincidence. I just left the snitching convention. Gold Star member.
That's Magnusar's song. So you better be careful. You better be careful what you say to him. You better be on the up and up all day, all night. All right. Let's move on. So your card, it's called fraud. Is it fraud because it's to the federal government? I don't know. I'm curious. But either way, don't lie on your job application, right? Don't lie on your job applications, okay? Let's move on to the next question of the day.
Another one.
How much do you actually Google in tech? Well, I find myself repeatedly searching online to remind myself of certain concepts, commands, etc. I've been told that using Google and online resources is acceptable in the workplace, but to a limit. What is that limit exactly? All right, let's start our clock, right? So how much Googling is done in IT? I would say 98.6325% of time spent in IT is spent Googling, or at least because I Google everything. Whenever I get an error that I understand, I'm like, what does this mean? Whenever I just Google everything, right? And so how much Googling is too much? Well, it's the amount they'll eventually fire you over. But they're not going to fire you, because if you're using Google to produce and you're getting things done, then they're going to be okay with that. For me in particular, I don't remember all the little details and intricacies of all the different coding languages that I know. I would get in there. I'm like, all right, I know the concept. I know the framework of what I'm looking to do. So I'll go in there and I just start working, and I get stuck. I'm like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I'll plug it in. Right? So there's for me, I would say you can't do too much. Now, if your Googling slows you down and makes you ineffective in doing your job, Houston, we have a problem, right? But if you're Googling for reference, to understand, trying to figure out something new, or maybe something that you don't use on an everyday basis, so like you look back at it and you find out how to do it, because let's say you're setting up a server and you don't set up servers every day, then cool. But as long as I'll give you an example of how much Googling is too much, right? One of the people that I'm coaching, right? They were they are working in help desk, and they felt like it was taking them an hour to do each ticket, because they didn't know the domain context, the domain knowledge. So they would take them an hour to answer a ticket, which if all they were doing is Googling how to answer every ticket, then I would say that's probably too much Googling. By them going out and learning more about the industry they're in, now they went down from an hour to processing a ticket to 5 to 10 minutes to process a ticket, to know how to research, all that good stuff. So it's not a particular amount of quantity that's too much. It's more of how long it takes you and what you're using it for. But for me, you'll see me on stream, everything I don't know, Google it, add that to my mental database, so that if I get stuck, I'm like, oh, I know what to search for. I know where to go. So that's the aspect of the whole how much Googling is too much Googling. It's I would say there's not a set number. Like I said, I'm always looking for commands, for concepts. I don't know everything about. I don't know a lot about Linux. I don't know a lot about most of the technologies that I work on, but I Google them to get a better understanding. Like when we were doing Kubernetes the other day, kubectl, create deployment, expose deployment. I'm learning that stuff, so I might still reference it every now and then. Also, bookmark the stuff that are important to you, so that you can reference those bookmarks, and then that can make a lot more sense to you. So many different little things here and there that you can do to become more effective. But if your Googling is taking you too much time, then you might actually start to provide negative value, and that's something that you don't want to do. All right. So we're gonna wrap that question up. I'm going to step away for just 1 second to get something, and then we're going to pick up the show. But while I'm gone, we're going to play a song. We're right in the middle of the show. We're gonna play a song, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna knock out these three other questions, right? I'm gonna take a quick break. We'll come back. We knock out these 3 other questions, right? Let's go with, let me see. Let's go Turn the Page. To start off 2025, we're gonna play Turn the Page on our intermission before we answer these last 3 questions, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I will be right back.
You made so many bad moves, ignored the words of the wise. We used to feel your struggle. You made so many bad moves, ignored the words of the wise. We used to feel your struggle, but now it's no surprise. You always played the victim, wanted us to care for you, but we've grown tired of your play. Now it's time for something new. We're turning the page, leaving the past behind. We're setting the stage for a fresh state of mind. You thought we'd stand by forever through every mess you made, but tough love's here to sever the ties that we once laid. Now you're looking for pity, expecting sympathy from us, but we've moved on so swiftly, no longer in your trust. We're turning the page, leaving the past behind. We're setting the stage for a fresh state of mind. We're turning the page, leaving the past behind. We're setting the stage for a fresh state of mind. You thought we'd stand by forever through every mess you made, but tough love's here to sever the ties that we once laid. Now you're looking for pity, expecting sympathy from us, but we've moved on so swiftly, no longer in your trust. We're turning the page, leaving the past behind. We're setting the stage for a fresh state of mind. Turn the page.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I was muted when I was wrapping up the question because I double pressed the button, but it's all good. It's all good. I was just wrapping up. Anyways, all right. Let me check the chat, and then we're going to continue on with our last three questions. Yukari says, there is no limit to how much Googling you can do. I agree. There's no limit, but if you're spending hours, like, if you got the job under false pretenses and you don't know what you're doing and you're trying to do the job just by Googling, then you might have a problem, right?
Do not come.
Just saying. It says, you better Google your AZZ off. Who lied to them? Says, for the other question that I asked about, if you lie on a government application, if you get caught after you get a clearance, then you'd get fired and probably banned from federal jobs.
Do not come.
Other than that, it probably just depends on whose desk it came across. Okay, gotcha. So somebody like your car would probably push to find the individual and put them in prison. I agree with you. And here's what he would do, right? Sorry, between you and me, right? This is what your car would do. He would know this, right? And he would not say anything for a while. He would say, you know what? We need you to return to office. And and he would let them return to office for about 3 months, right? And just make them miserable. And then he's gonna say, he's gonna hit him with one of these. He's gonna hit him with one of these.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
You know, and then he's gonna put him in prison. That's what I see happening. That's what he would do. That's what he would do. You guys, is he trying to get me dishonorable discharge? Let me see. Your car says, let me turn my Bluetooth on so I can hear the subwoofer back. I'm telling you. 2 months ago, your car told me with my music,
do not come.
What he told me. But now he's like, I'm turning the page too. I am turning the page too. My guy says, if it were up to me, I wouldn't recommend that on anyone. If all they were doing was just trying to get a job, I could see if they were flat out selling government secrets. If you're selling the government secrets to the Chinese or in, you ever notice in the show 24, it was always the Iranians, the Russians or the Chinese that they were trying to sell the government secrets that were trying to, get us. To this day, and we're still living in 24 at this point, right? Your car says, it sounds like B.O.B. is about to jump on this track. But unfortunately, it is just me. No, I would remove their login. Says, I would watch them squirm trying to make sure it's not the password. Yeah, I'm telling you, I know your car. Says, then when they send IT a ticket, I'll take the ticket and tell them to come get their new login from my office. And then it's going to be,
you're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
And not only that, your car, how many years do you give him in prison? The max? Your car, I'm sure your car would advocate for the max. He would advocate for the max. I'm telling you. You said that you had a 4.0 GPA. You messed up. It shows that you had a 3.892 GPA. You're done. You're out of here. You're done. See? I'm telling you, that's what you do. Like if the person had a 3.89 and they say they had a 4.0, your car was like, you thought you could round up with me? It ain't happening. You get life. And you share a cell with Diddy. Telling you. You ain't like baby oil before, but now you do. All right? I'm just saying. Anyways, enough fun and games. It is New Year's. Let's continue. What happened to Grace and Mercy? That's only on Saturdays or Sunday Bible studies, all right? Before and after that, I'm telling you, your car, you remember when I tried to clean my screen the other day because I thought there was a speck of dirt on my screen? Where's the grace? What's Rick Ross's album called? God Forgives, I Don't. Your car created the album cover for him. I'm just saying. All right, anyways, enough of that. You see you guys getting me in trouble. All right, let's continue on with the next question of the night.
Another one.
How did you get started in quality assurance? So to all my current and previous QA professionals, how did you get your foot in the door working in QA field? Did someone take a chance on you? Did you start through an internship? How did you get an internship? Let me know your story. This will be beneficial to me starting my journey. It seems like no one is willing to give you a chance these days. So, start the clock. Me in particular, I did not really have a quote unquote a chance. I wasn't really given a chance. It's actually a funny story now that I think about it, right? But when I first started working, I was working in a call center. I had a little cubicle and I would answer calls. I was working for a web hosting company, answering calls about about like, how do you FTP? How do I set up my email? How do I do my DNS? Stuff like that. That was my first official tech job, answering calls. And then after doing that for maybe a year and a half, I got recruited to pilot the web development, the website development portion that they were trying to bring in-house, right? They were trying to get like not have the California team do it anymore, bring it in-house, okay? So I was the pilot for that. And I was there for like a year and a half. I was doing web development. I started leading the web development team until the company got bought and whatever, right? So then in that year, so that ended in 2008. So end of 2008. So in that year, 2009, I was applying for different jobs, different roles, and apparently I applied for a QA position, right? And when they contacted me saying, "Hey, you applied for this position," I'm like, "I did. I had no idea." So I didn't say that I had no idea. I said I really didn't remember that. I didn't say that either, but I didn't remember it. So I interviewed and I was answering questions about what I knew, like the type of like how I would test the websites that I was building before sending it out to our client liaisons to do because we didn't have an actual QA team. So our client liaisons would be, or our account representatives would be doing a UAT test, but I would have to check the application, like the sites that the other developers are doing, and check my work and stuff like that. So I explained my process, how I use HTML, all of that type of stuff, and they decided to hire me based on that. So it wasn't necessarily to be fair, anytime you get a job offer, they're technically taking a chance on you because based on a few interviews, some people like Mitch would prefer only one interview. I am more of the having multiple interviews with different rounds so that we can actually get to know you to see, am I wasting, because I don't want to waste company money and resources interviewing, hiring somebody who shouldn't be there. So I'm on the team of have multiple rounds of interviews, different people interviewing, neither here nor there. But so I had interviews and stuff like that, and they hired me, and that's how I got into QA. It was based on the know-how of HTML, CSS, and working with other people to find defects and fix them and stuff like that. So that's how I got my foot in the door of QA. Now, as you see on this channel, we work like crazy. I wish I had that mindset that I have now for off of work too, because at work I would be like very focused, looking at the code, looking at the console to see what JavaScript errors and stuff like that. But now I do that for my own stuff and I do that for my work stuff, right? We don't miss, okay? So with that being said, what is important though, I really don't believe in chances in the way that you're putting it. Like, oh, somebody, like I have no experience, I have nothing, and just give me a shot. Whenever I see on LinkedIn some people talking about giving me a shot, I'm like, you know what?
Do not come.
Nobody knows you unless it's like your mom or your dad or your uncle or your cousin giving you a job. But a lot of times they won't give you a job because they know you, right? And they know how you work. But I don't really believe in giving a chance. I think that if you want to grow in the industry, you have to get in where you fit in. You have to get in at the ground level. So I started in tech support. And from tech support, I'm telling you, like when I first started working, right? When I first started working in the year of 2000, almost going into 2001, I was making $5.25 or $5.15? It was like right above minimum wage, working at a park as a park attendant. And then when I started working at the web hosting company, I was making like $12 an hour, I think, is what they started us off. And I thought that was a lot of money at the time. And then when I got my first raise, it was like a 3% raise. So it went up to like from $12 an hour to like $12.32, something like that. It was something like that, right? It was. And I was like, oh, cool, I got a raise. And then it just started to go up and up and up as I learned more, as I did more. I started from the bottom, and now we're here. All right. So you gotta get your foot in the door, wherever that door is, and then run it up from there. A lot of people they'll complain, oh, they'll complain like, oh, we're gonna unionize because we're making coffee every day and no one appreciates us. We want more money. And I was like, I'm not gonna stay here. I'm not gonna do this. I gotta go. It's checkout time, right? It was checkout time. And just looking for opportunities, just work harder than everybody else. And then I took on the opportunities and I ran with that. Every opportunity that I got, I did more with it to lead to more opportunities. So now where I am working for I'm working on like pretty crazy applications and I'm learning new things every single day. What I learned here, I apply it to work. What I learned at work, I apply it to other places, right? To my personal projects, to my coaching group, so that they can see the things that we work on day in and day out. All right. That is how I got into QA. And I think that if last thought, I was about to end this, but the last thought on this, right? Last thought on this. If you take a boot camp, you go to college, whatever, right? If you would be less concerned with what they sell you, saying, oh, take this 6-week boot camp and you can become a manual QA tester making $90,000 to $100,000 a year after 6 weeks. If you'd be less concerned about that and using that knowledge, like to just get your foot in the door of any tech job, whether it's help desk, whether it's answering calls, whatever it is, get your foot in the door. Be around the people that be around the people of where you want to be, right? Put yourself in the same room with them. So now, as you're learning, and he says, now you start to network with those, with the the project manager, the developers, the QA people, whatever. And you start saying, hey, I know you guys are developing things. When do you guys have your sprint reviews? So you have to do a great job at your job, but like, can I attend your sprint reviews, or watch the recording and ask questions? That way, you're actually doing your job well, and you're showing interest, and that's when you start to grow. It's not like you just, after 6 weeks I'm going to go get this $100,000 job. Where they do that at? It happens to, I would say, out of 100 QA people who apply for a job, 100 software engineers apply for a job, it might happen to 1.5 of them. They might get 1.5 of them might get a chance taken on them, right? So you got to find a, average height person is about 5'10", 5'11" for a guy. So you have to find a 5'11" guy and a really short guy, or to be that 1.5 person who gets the chance taken on them, right? I'm just saying. All right, I'm going too far. I'm gonna wrap it up. All right, let me see what we got going on in the chat, because I see some new people, not new, but new people in the chat for today, right? So we got J-Lo on the track, Video Productions in the building. All right, let me check the chat and I'll go through it. So let me see. All right, so your car says, my dad is a veteran. If you're not working, you lazy. You know what, your car, to you and your dad, your car.
How dare you?
You guys going around calling lazy people lazy, that is not nice. How dare you call lazy people lazy? Since if you're not working long hours, you lazy. If you're not excelling at what you do, you're lazy. I would never call a lazy person lazy, your car. That is so mean. That is so mean. Have you no empathy, man? Oh my God. Says he believed in adapting and overcoming in normal life. I love him for pushing me. Your dad is awesome. Your dad is awesome. And Mitch says, yup, 1 round of interviews and that's it. I will make my decision and I will live with it. I will live with it. We got J-Lo, like J-Lo on the tracks, video production says facts. What up? You know, it's too long for me to say J-Lo on the tracks, video production. I'm just saying, what up, J-Lo? No, that's not good because then that thinks I'm talking to Jennifer Lopez and you are not Jennifer Lopez by a long shot. In a good way. In a good way. Oh my God, it's not going well. Not going well. All right. But shout out to J-Lo on the track. Your card says Army. He had one brother that was a Marine who served in Vietnam. His twin brother was a parachuter, served in Germany and Britain. Another brother was Air Force maintenance in Oklahoma. Wow. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. He had a lot of brothers. Let me see. And thank you know what? On behalf of the Tech Coach Ralph channel, your car, please thank your dad for his service to our country. I love our military members who put their lives on the line for us day in and day out. Even those who are retired because they did it for us, right? Your car says, sister is Army, just got back from Poland, almost done her 20 years. Shout out to your sister. Thank her as well for her service, your car. Thank her as well. Thank your whole family for their service. Your car says, we gotta go. Yep. I remember your car. I remember when we got flagged. They said your video or you're using audio that it wasn't really flagged. They're like, we're gonna revenue share. I was like, we're not revenue sharing. I said, just delete that from the video. And J-Lo says, that's the way it is supposed to be. Start from the bottom and work your way up. I 100% agree. Let me see. We got my guy, Me Massify in the building. What's up, Me Massify? How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. How's the weather out there in Detroit, in Michigan? How's the weather up there? Is it cold? I heard it's about to get cold in Florida. It is about to get cold in Florida. I heard on the 3rd, which would be Friday. I don't know I'm going to handle this right, but we are about to go down to 49-degree weather. It's going to be 49 degrees in Florida on Friday. You guys might not see me for a while. I might go into hibernation. All right? I'm just saying. Let me see. Where are we at? I'm just tapping in. Appreciate it. Got off work early. I still got to go watch the mirror. I got to watch it too. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but got it. You know what, Jay?
I appreciate you.
It says Kevin Simon spoke on the same thing. Yeah, he did talk about that. I remember. Let me see. It says J-Lo on the track is cool because nice. Nice. I need to get, you know what? Your car, 2025, let's get something trademarked. I don't know what yet, but we're going to get something trademarked. All right. I don't know. That's adding that to the list of 2025 goals. If J-Lo on the track is getting something trademarked, I need to get something trademarked as well because I'm just competitive like that. I want one too. Right? I want my own trademark. Let's see. So Mitch says it only takes 30 seconds to see if you like someone or not. I don't care if I like them or not. I also want to know if they can do the damn job. I want to see if they're lying or not. And I want other people, because like, what if I like them, right? Because I'm telling you, there's been many times that I like somebody, because I'm more of a benefit of the doubt person. And then somebody else says, you know what? I didn't like this about them. I'm like, okay, cool. You know? Then we vote on it. But you can't have everyone. Mitch, all right, here's another question. Is it one day of interviews with different interviews in that one day? Or is it just one and done? They meet with you and some other person and they're done. Well, because if it's if it's one long day of interviews and they're meeting with everybody, then that's one thing. But if it's just one and done interview, they meet with one person, the hiring manager, and that's it. Nah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. We got Melvin Johnson in the building. And he's right. Salute to all that served this great, amazing country. I agree. Still hacking at my garage. It's 35 degrees and rainy. However, it's not too bad. It is not too bad. Bruh. All right. Let's just remove from the record. Your Honor, I would like to strike from the record and me talking about 49 degrees on a Friday in Florida because it is 35 degrees in Michigan. So let's not do that. Let's not do that. Yakari says, let's do it. Let's trade Mark. Well, it says, dang, just forget Mitch. Cassie. Mitch, I have to wait until tomorrow to see if you're actually going to be here or not. Because you kept saying like, you know what? I am out. This is the last day of December. I'm out. Mitch is gone. So I have to make sure that if I see you, I started updating the song and everything for Saturday mornings because I'm not sure if you're going to be here or not. So I have to see. So, but if you're going to be here, then Mitch is going to trademark it as well. All right. We can't catch these hands. We can't catch these hands. No, not on the last day. I can't get all bruised up on the last day of the year. To then take 45 seconds to then. Oh my God. If Ralph hires me for something, are you going to snitch on me and accuse me of stacking? Uh-oh. It's a good question. That is a good question. That is a good question. Oh my God. I gotta get to these last two questions, right? Let's wrap this up. All right, we're gonna stop right here. We're gonna stop right here. Answer these last two questions, and then we'll just go through the chat to end the night, to end the afternoon before we go into New Year's. But let me get through these last, because I'll tell you this. My video editor told me today that, you only had 7 questions on this video I just edited. What's going on? I was like, you're right. You're right. I only had 7 questions. So it's like, you need to get it together. You're spending way too much time laughing and joking and giggling with the chat. You need to get these questions answered because guess what? These questions are not going to answer themselves. And I was like, what? Who do you think you're talking to?
How dare you?
And they said, get it done. And I said, yep, you got it. You got it. All right. You got it.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
All right. So we're going to answer these questions. We're going to answer these questions. Let's get to the next one.
Another one.
How to find a job with a test-driven development culture. So how can I find a job at a company with a TDD culture? Yes, it's possible to do TDD on my own, regardless of what others are doing. But I found that doing it within a company that doesn't practice it can feel very, very isolating. Oh? I'm sorry. Not to mention, such companies may insist upon...
Oh, it's only money.
What? Hold up. Shout out to my guy, Mysify, with the $10 super chat. What a way to stop the show. I'm going to read it after this question, but I appreciate you so much, Mysify.
I appreciate you.
All right, let's continue. Let's not get too excited, right? Let's not get excited. It's only money at the end of the day, right?
Money.
I'm just messing around. All right, let's continue. So, I've been doing. All right, so. Not to mention, such companies may insist upon a big design upfront, which can stifle some of the benefits of TDD, such as a simpler and higher quality design that may not be obvious upfront, but become more apparent in response to frequent feedback that TDD provides. Asking for input here because I fear such companies are rare. Here's hoping that I am wrong. All right, that is a great question, right? But it's also a heartbreaking question. Because I love TDD, right? Let's get it started. So I have a couple of approaches to this question. So the first approach I have to this question is you can be the catalyst to start introducing and building the test-driven development culture at your company. it is very, very rare that you're going to find a company that practices test-driven development. Why is that? Because people are under the assumption and the illusion that you go slower with test-driven development, that it is not like that it slows you down. But guess what? You know what slows you down? This is what slows you down. When you get into 6 months into your application, and it is a bunch of spaghetti code, things are all over the place. You're writing your unit test you write your unit test to make sure that your code passes instead of writing your code to pass the unit test, right? So it is a bit challenging because a lot of companies have not adopted the test-driven development mindset. But if you do it at your company, and although you might feel isolated, well, you know what's going to help you not feel isolated? Advocacy. Because whenever a new movement starts, it starts with about one or two people. It starts with one person to come up with the idea, and then they have to recruit somebody. So if you start doing test-driven development and you show why it's beneficial to your company, to your team, to your code, and how it's actually faster than slower, then you can get one person on board. Then you can get another person on board. And then you can get on board your car's friend outside who just started his car, his V8 engine. Actually, no, it might not be the V8 engine because it didn't have the loud vroom. So I take that back. It is not your car's friend. It's just some other random person. Never mind. It's not your car. Stand down. It's not your friend, right? So what I was saying was, you can be the person that turns your company into a test-driven development culture. It is not an easy task, but it is a noble and fruitful task. Okay. Now, the other thing is about insist on big design upfront, which can stifle some of the benefits of TDD. I think that having a good design architecture is necessary. Not actually implementing, but knowing, okay, what tools we're going to be using, what service, having our diagrams and stuff mapped out. And now, as you start to build it, using test-driven development, because the test-driven development is making sure that your application continues to work. You write your test, and you write your code to make your test pass. But that should not mean that we're just going to do it Wild Wild West. Test-driven development does not mean Wild Wild West, because guess what? The same way that there's clean code which advocates for test-driven development, there's also clean architecture. You need to have the design meetings about the architecture that you're going to be following, right? So although you get frequent feedback in test-driven development, you also need to know the direction that you're going in. Would you build a house without an architect laying giving you the blueprint? Your architecture is your blueprint. You can't just start coding and then hopefully things go well. You need to have a goal, a direction that you're working to. And I think that as a developer, if your mindset is that, oh, I just want to write tests and then write code to make the test pass, then you are missing the key points, the key aspects of test-driven development. You need to know, because guess what? Test-driven development fits inside of the Scrum. It fits inside of Scrum of Agile. It fits inside of having clean architecture. It fits inside all the other of GitHub and pull requests and all of that type of stuff, right? It is a tool that fits in the larger framework and the larger architecture. You're not just going to start to digging and laying cement without surveying the land, without laying digging down, laying the foundation, all that type of stuff, right? You're not going to do that. So the same way, people need to stop approaching software development, tech and stuff like it's different than anything else. There's foundations in everything that we do. The same foundations apply to software development. We need architecture. We need input and guidance and strategy from everybody. And then once you have your story written of what you need to accomplish, then you go and you write your test and you write your code to make your test pass. Right? So everything is connected to one another. Okay? All right, so let's wrap that question up, and then we're going to go to the last question of the year. The last question of the year. Can you believe that? I have this as our 49th episode of 2024. That means that I didn't. Let me end the question. Let me end the question, then we'll talk about this real quick. Right? Let's end the question. I have this as the 49th episode of 2024 for a tech Q&A. That means that out of the 52 weeks, we did not do for 3 weeks because I was either out of town or sick. I remember I was in Nebraska for one of those, and I think I was sick for another one, and I think I was maybe traveling for a competition. Either sick twice and in Nebraska, or I was traveling twice and sick once. Something like that, right? But we don't miss. 52 out of 49. You know what? What's the score? What if this was school, right? If we're in school, I would get a 94, which is an A. I would get a 94. Is it A minus nowadays? Get an A minus on our. I'll get an A minus on our. You know what? I'm gonna do a report card. I'm gonna do a report card for our consistency for the year of 2024. But I'd have an A for this show, right? 94. I have to check what it would be for the Sunday show, for the morning shows, for the Thursday show, right? I digress. But we don't miss. We don't miss because
We the best.
we are the best. All of you guys are the best. I appreciate you guys, all right? Let's do our last question. Then we're going to wrap up the year, right? We're gonna wrap up the year. Let's do the last question and then let's get out of here. So, last question of the year.
Another one.
Are you an annoying Scrum Master? What? That's mean. So let's see what this is talking about. All right. So I was that annoying Scrum Master who wouldn't stop micromanaging. Whoa. Just had to share some real talk about my first year in the role. Maybe it'll help someone else avoid my rookie mistake. I started out as the most annoying kind of Scrum Master, the one who treats Jira like it's their personal kingdom and bugs people about every little update. Cringe. Took me forever to realize that being a good Scrum Master isn't about policing processes or fixing everyone's problems. The magic happens when you take a step back and let the team figure stuff out themselves. The funniest part, I used to think skipping retros was fine in the sprint, if the sprint went well. Now I know that that's exactly when you need them the most. There's always something to learn or improve. Another embarrassing confession. These are my confessions. I used to cave whenever management wanted to bend the Scrum rules. Now I know better. Sometimes you gotta stand your ground to protect your team's process. Looking back, building trust with the team was way more important than hitting every sprint goal perfectly. Once I stopped trying to control everything, people actually started coming to me for help instead of avoiding me. Shout out to all the Scrum Masters out there. You all are very, very appreciative. The ones who take a step back and let the teams run it, to the ones that are very, very annoying. So, let me give my thoughts on this one. Let's start a timer. So here's the deal. This is Scrum Master agnostic. I think anyone who is new in a field is annoying as, including me, right? Because this is one of the reasons that as we learn on this channel, I always like to deviate. We could probably finish, like, we could probably finish a DevOps course in like 2 months, right? If we just stuck to it. But then we'll just be someone who knows how to copy and paste, regurgitate code that is written and think that we're learning something. No. I like to deviate so that I can see that I can do things on my own. That way it actually builds me real experience. So while I'm learning this stuff about DevOps, about ethical hacking, about the large language models that we're going to be starting tomorrow morning, new year, new you, new year, new language, new year, new goals, new objectives, right? But it is a problem with it's a rookie problem. You guys remember D'Angelo Russell, right? When he started with the Lakers, and he started giving people like he played Magnatory song. He started off his NBA career with
what a coincidence. I just left the snitching convention. Gold Star member and chairman of this commission.
See? So when you're green, you don't know what you're doing, right? You're gonna be by the book. You're gonna be so by the book. So I know like, you know, I've worked with junior Scrum Masters, and you know, people who just got their Scrum certification, and they are so by the book. And the meeting says it's supposed to be 4 hours, right? So the meeting's supposed to be 4 hours. So let's say we're done within three and a half hours. We're gonna sit here for the other 30 minutes, just finding something to talk about, just staring at each other, because the Scrum guide says this for a 2-week sprint, the meeting has to be 4 hours, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And when we do stand up, we're gonna do it a particular type of way. You're going to answer, like, you're gonna say, what did you work on yesterday? What did you work on today? Do you have any obstacles? All right, 15 minutes. Everybody stand up. Don't you dare think about taking a seat. I'm watching you. Don't you dare sit down. It's called stand up for a reason. Okay? So I get it. But then after they start to understand that it is not their role to be the army general on the team, it is your goal to remove the blocker from the team, to work with the team to see, I am here to make sure that we're working cohesively, that we're a well-oiled machine. That is why I'm here, right? It's not to make you feel bad. It's not to call you out. It is to work as a team. Once they realize that, things change for the better. And I think as you get stronger in your role, that is, right, people start to take advantage of you less. Because when you don't know what you're doing, then people are going to, you know, work around you and all that good stuff. And they might be a little bit sneaky about it. All right. So I agree. The newer that you are in any field, like I'm sure when Mitch was a entry-level data analyst, he was an even bigger jerk than he is today. And I mean that with all due respect, because Mitch as a jerk is why he is my best friend. He's my best friend. He's my best friend. All right.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
So, but then as you start to get more comfortable with it, then you start to loosen up and you start to, okay, what is the actual goal we're trying to achieve, right? And that's to build amazing software and make sure that the team is in a good state of mind, you know? And the way that we ensure that, here's our metrics, here's our projects, here's anything that we need to adjust. I'll give you another example, right? I'll give you, to round out the year, to end of the year, right? I'm gonna give you a jiu-jitsu example. When you first start jiu-jitsu, especially if you never had any other martial arts training, like, you know, wrestling or taekwondo, what's the other one? Muay Thai, karate. If you had never had any of that type of training, right? When you first start jiu-jitsu or judo, another one, right? When you first start jiu-jitsu, you are rigid as hell. You're using 100% strength on everything that you do. Okay? Then, as you start to get more comfortable, you start to learn how to breathe, because guess what? Learning how to breathe is another thing in jiu-jitsu, right? You need to learn how to breathe. Like one of my professors, when I'd be sparring with him, he would be destroying me, crushing me, and he'd say, "Breathe, just breathe, all right? Just breathe." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm trying to, right?" But as you start to get better, now when the same professor is crushing me and killing me, I'm just breathing like normal. Okay, cool. That's cool. That's cool. All right. And then I'm like, take my time, do a move and stuff like that. But they're so rigid. They use 100% strength, and they're just like, you would think they're having a seizure, right? You think they're having a seizure the way that they're moving around. I did it too. So whenever you start something new, because you don't know, you're gonna be rigid. You're gonna be tough. Like it's gonna be like very tough, right? That's why one of my friends said, if you're gonna be cooking an iguana, put it in the pressure cooker or slow cook it. Either you learn it really fast, or you slow cook it and you take the long road, the long road, right? So that's that. So I don't think that people are. Now, if you're in 10 years of being a Scrum Master and you're still the same way, that's a different story, right? But I think that it's natural as a junior anything that you need to learn the ropes and you're going to be all rigid and stuff like that, right? So let's wrap our last question up for 2024 with a nice little bow on top. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me for all these questions for the year of 2024. You guys are amazing. Let's wrap that question up. All right, we're gonna check the chat and then we're gonna get back to work. All right, or not back to work. We're gonna wrap the show up. Not back. We're gonna wrap the show up. What am I talking about? All right. So let me see. Mitch says 1 and done. Maybe 2 to 3 people interview process. Make it an hour. Nope, not me.
Do not come.
If I had a company, I would never have that hiring practice in place because I'm not gonna be spending all this money on somebody and then I can't get rid of them. And then if I do get rid of them, then I have to pay them unemployment because I didn't make the right choice. Nope, not happening. Not for me. Not happening. All right. What else do we got? Let's wrap it up. Let me see. It says Ralph would snitch on you for stacking. What? I would never snitch on Magnetar. Right? It says I'm going to pull up on you playing your song with the MPs. That is so messed up. Bopping my head. That's insane. Hire me only to snitch on me. You know how we do. He definitely would snitch. Blaming Mitch now. Melvin says, I'm in Minnesota. Oh my God. I can only imagine. An ice house is on the lake. Caught my first fish the other night. Oh, look at that. Shout out to Melvin.
Let's get it. I appreciate
Caught his first fish in the ice house. So I'm gonna imagine Melvin right now, right? He has his little Eskimo coat on. He's sitting in that little cabin on the snow, not on the snow, but on the ice with a little circle in there with his little fishing rod, freezing, like holding the rod. Is that pretty much how it went? Is that pretty much how it went, Melvin? I'm just asking for a friend. I am just asking for a friend, all right? Your card says that is one big lie. Wifey wouldn't talk to you like that. No, I'm just kidding. He was like, there's only seven on this video. I was like, yeah, sometimes we talk too much. He slapped that. Oh my God. My guy, Me Mysify says, keep doing what you do, sir. Thank you so much, Me Mysify. I'm telling you, like, I love Me Mysify because just the conversation that we had, like, way early on in the year to see where he's at now, his channel growth, his positivity, mental health growth, all that stuff. Him getting his new teeth. Yup, him getting his new teeth. I just love what my guy Me Mysify is doing. So shout out to you. I really, really appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Mitch says, it's only money. This guy is rich. I like that one. It says, reason why I'm leaving, this guy doesn't pay me. He thinks I'm just a circus clown. No, Mitch, not a circus clown. I think you're more like the, what do you call the people? Is it acrobat? What do you call the people who walk the tightrope and, you know, they do backflips and stuff like that? Kind of like Circus Soleil, right? Kind of like Circus Soleil. I'm just saying, all right? And we got DB Darrow in the building. What's up, DB Darrow? Are you bragging or complaining? I am always bragging. It says, bragging or complaining trademarked or registered. Oh, I don't know. I think Mitch might sue me on that one. Let's see. Micromanaging ain't it. Micromanaging is not it. It is not it at all. Only if you have great employees like me. I cannot argue with that. You better thank a Fed worker. Mrs. I'm definitely asking 20 million questions. Then I stopped. People had to check on me because they didn't hear from me for days. I said I'm good now, chump. Let's see. Trapeze art. There you go. Trapeze artist. There you go. That's what. That's what. And for the first time all year to end the year, Mitch said that was actually funny. Wow. It took 300. Was this year a leap year? Was 2024 a leap year? It took 366 days in order for Mitch to say that one of my jokes was actually funny. It is what it is. Let's wrap it up. Let me see anything else. Let me see what else we got. That is it, my friends, my family, for 2024. We did it. We did the damn thing. And on our way out, we are going to. It was a wild ride. Dakar. It was a wild ride. But as we wrap up the year, we're gonna play all of our favorites. Let's start off with this one.
We just show up and grind all day. Only results matter anyway. I'm straightforward, no time to play. Block out the noise, let nothing sway. We don't care what others pursue. Our focus sharp, our goal so true. Their distractions ain't got a clue. We just win, that's what we do. Turn it up on the victory ride. We got heart and we got pride. Let the doubters run and hide. We're the force they can't deny. Keep your eyes on the finish line. No looking back, no wasting time. We climb the ranks, we shine and shine. Success is drawn like a fine line. Turn it up on the victory ride. We got heart and we got pride. Let the doubters run and hide. We're the force they can't deny. Keep your eyes on the finish line. No looking back, no wasting time. We climb the ranks, we shine and shine. Success is drawn like a fine line. Turn it up on the victory ride. We got heart and we got pride. Let the doubters run and hide. We're the force they can't deny. Step by step we reach the top. We'll keep going, we won't stop. Watch us rise, see Johnson's drop. When we win, we own the lot. We don't care what others pursue. Our focus sharp, our goal so true. Their distractions ain't got a clue. We just win, that's what we do. Turn it up on the victory ride. We got heart and we got pride. Let the doubters run and hide. We're the force they can't deny. Keep your eyes on the finish line. No looking back, no wasting time. We climb the ranks, we shine and shine. Success is drawn like a fine line. Keep your eyes on the finish line. No looking back, no wasting time. We climb the ranks, we shine and shine. Success is drawn like a fine line. Step by step we reach the top. We'll keep going, we won't stop. Watch us rise, see jaws drop. When we win, we own the lot. Step by step, we reach the top. We'll keep going, we won't stop. Watch us rise, see judges drop. When we win, we own the lot. Step by step, we reach the top. We'll keep going, we won't stop. Watch us rise, see judges drop. When we win, we own the lot. Step by step, we reach the top. We'll keep going, we won't stop. Watch us rise, see judges drop. When we win, we own the lot. Yeah.
All right, you guys. So, as I end the show for 2024, remember, we're going to be back tomorrow morning for 2025, getting started with week 1, day 1 of the Large Language Models course, Prompt Engineering. The link is in the chat as well as in the description. If you want to follow along, if you want to learn, tomorrow probably around 7:30, 8 o'clock. We'll probably go for about an hour. I'll schedule it after we're done here, but follow along. Let's do it together. Let's ask each other questions. Let's help each other out. Let's go out there and win. But yeah, so very, very last message. My message to you, right? Because I know a lot of people are like, you should never burn bridges and stuff like that. I don't agree. I think that some bridges should be burned, blown up. We don't go back. We turn the page, right? So as I wrap the show up, as I wrap this, Mitch says 2025 Twitch famous. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. But as we wrap the show up, I'm gonna play the outro song. But after we wrap it up with this song, we are out. Don't be afraid to burn bridges. Don't be afraid to blow them up. Like Megan Star says, I agree 100%. Depends on the bridge, but not all bridges are meant to stay, right? So with that being said, I'm gonna play this coming from. This is gonna be on my Valentine's Day album called Abandoned, dropping on Valentine's Day. All right. So this is the song, but I'm gonna wrap the show up. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all you guys. Me, myself, Magnetar, has been so great to connect with you. We have a lot of fun. Mitch, my brother, my best friend forever.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Your car, my guy. Like, we've done so much work together. Roxy's probably watching from the clouds. Shout out to Roxy. Appreciate you. To Alexis, Raw Juice and Herbs. Appreciate you all. And so many other people. Darcel. So many people. We had such a great year. Shout out to my guys, Tech Niche Tips Joseph and my guy Trey. Hanging out with them in the mornings on Mondays. So much great stuff. You guys, we had an amazing, amazing year. We're going to have an even better 2025. My wife asked me today, right? She asked me real quick, like, how was 2024 for you? And I was like, it was actually great. Like, because whatever problems that I had, I just adjusted and I figured it out and we moved forward, So, and I know that 2025 is going to be even better. All right, so we're going to run it up. So remember, my message to you, do not be afraid to burn bridges. Tech Coach Ralph, we are out.
I used to roam those crowded streets where all the ghosts I know. But I'm a torch to every bridge, ain't scared to let them go.
My guy Rod Brown as well.
All the voices couldn't be any clearer. They say don't burn bridges, don't you dare. I got dynamite, I just don't care. Blow them up, let the pieces fly. Watch the dust settle underneath the sky. Never look back, keep my head held high. No more tears, I won't cry. They say make amends, learn to forgive. I know what it takes to truly live. Cut the ties and watch me thrive. This is my life, I won't just survive. Blow them up, let the pieces fly. Watch the dust settle underneath the sky. Never look back, keep my head held high. No more tears, I won't cry. They say that time can heal the wounds, but I'm not one to wait. Patience lost in the inferno, burning past debate. Each step away, another layer peeling off my skin. Emerging from the ashes, ready to begin. Memories like shadows, they fade away. Couldn't weigh me down on my brightest day. Goodbye to the old, I'm breaking free. the new me.
Miss Freckles, shout out to Miss Freckles.
Let the pieces fly, watch the dust settle underneath the sky. Never look back, keep my head held high. No more tears, I won't cry. Blow up the bridges, don't look back. The past is just a memory in gray and black. Keep walking forward, leave the wreckage far behind. I'm setting fire to every bond that tried to hold my mind.
Shout out to my guy Slimmy. What's up, Slimmy?
Blow up the bridges, don't look back. The past is just a memory in gray and black. Keep walking forward, leave the wreckage far behind. I'm setting fire to every bond that tried to hold my mind.
2024. This is Tech Coach Ralph signing off for one very last time. You guys have an amazing, amazing new year. See you guys tomorrow. We're getting right back to work. Love you all. Tech Coach Ralph. We are officially out for 2024.
Tech Coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains. But trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech Coach Ralph.